Hello, my name is Robert Hope. Friends call me Bob Hope. I live in the small town called Hetonley Hall, located 5 miles northeast of the historic Durham city in the northeast of England. I would like to present now, live from the Black ADA studios in Schweinfurt, Germany, it's Lance, and the Global Detection Adventure Studios in Green Bay, Wisconsin, United States of America, it's Dave. And this is the Global Detection Adventures podcast. Enjoy.
Hello my friends, I'm Professor Hans von Puppet here today for Stephen, also known as the Man with the Hat. But he's also a YouTube charity fundraiser for cancer research. Your subscription, thumbs up, comments, and sharing, especially the sharing, will help achieve his goal to raise £50,000 for his wonderful charity. Please subscribe today and start sharing. We need you.
Well, good morning, good evening, and good afternoon, everybody out there listening to the Global Detection Adventures podcast. My name is Lance, and with me, as always, is the extremely sexy, voted Man of the Year in People Magazine, Dave DiNatale, sitting in Green Bay, Wisconsin.
Well, hello everyone, Dave D here in the GDA studios, high atop the Lambeau Field atrium, home of the Green Bay Packers, and today, the Silcom Marathon. That's one race that I will not be running in. Thank you. So how you been, Lance?
I've been doing really good. Finally got a chance to get out last week on my permission, as you saw by my videos. Wasn't the greatest hunt. We're still trying to locate our little treasure trove that's going to be sitting out there somewhere. We know that there's something out there. It's just trying to find a location in over 100 square miles of forested area.
Yeah, I was up really early this morning. I couldn't sleep. I think I got up about 5 a.m. I think I was out of the house by 6 to do an early morning hunt. Nothing really to brag about. I got a couple areas that I hit, and then lastly I hit this park. And I found a very interesting find, to say the least.
Yeah, I just saw that video.
Yeah, it's a PSA that I just put on Global Detection Adventure Facebook page. I found a hypodermic needle. Now, it was ringing up at 62, so I thought it was a token. It was about 2.5 inches down. And I roll over the dirt, and I see a penny, just your copper penny there. And I'm thinking, this is not a 62. So I continue digging, and there it is, with the needle still in there. It was bent. And I'm really glad I had gloves on. So it's just a PSA to everybody out there. Wear your gloves, because you never know what you're going to put your hands in. And your glass, your sharp objects, and you definitely do not want to get pricked by a hypodermic needle.
No, definitely not. That sounds like a nightmare to me. I just couldn't even imagine. And the fact that it sits out in a park like that, it's just horrible.
And it wasn't near any hospitals or anything like that, and I was just like, oh, man. So, yeah, it kind of blew me away, but, you don't expect to find it, but when you do, it's something that you just shake your head. And what I did is I wrapped it up and put it in my pouch, and then I put it in one of the trash bins, but it was triple wrapped, so anybody who tried to get it would I don't think they're going to be garbage dump hopping, but it was pretty safe that we put away. And it's a good thing, because a couple feet from there, I actually dug up a Batmobile car that some kid was probably playing with.
Well, you just piqued my interest.
Yeah, so it was, but it's just something that you really have to think about, and when you're out digging, just make sure that you keep your eyes sharp and look for those objects in the ground.
Yeah, definitely.
But anyways, I think we're getting some feedback here. So Lance, I saw that you're starting a new TV show. We're getting some technical difficulties here on Lance's end. Is you okay now?
Yeah, I'm fine now. Yeah.
No.
Really?
Nope. You're still shaking here.
Okay, I got to see what's going on. Man, I don't know what's going on. Seems like the audio is going through on my side. I just don't know. Maybe we're having a Skype issue right now.
Check. 1, 2,
Yeah.
1, 2.
Let me go ahead. We're going to cut to a commercial, and we'll be back in just a second.
I've been out here detecting all day. I finally got the perfect signal, which was probably a gold brick or $1 million in coins, and my spade broke trying to dig the hole.
Has this ever happened to you? I'm pretty sure it has. With the Black 88 spades, you will never have that problem again. With reinforced welds and reinforced shafts, the Black 88 digging accessories are one of the best on the market, created by metal detectors for metal detectors. So make sure you visit their website at black88.com and purchase yourself one of their fantastic digging accessories.
Oh wow, this new spade is really tearing up the ground. Thanks, Black 88.
So visit black88.com. That's black88.com. The side effects of using the Black 88 spades are included but are not limited to addiction to metal detecting, digging holes easier, finding more relics, creating cleaner plugs, listening to the Global Detection Adventures podcast, making YouTube videos, watching V3I Sweeper episodes, watching Detecting Bavaria with Lance and Black 88.
Well, I think I'm back now. Sorry about that, everybody. Technology is only as good as the software and the hardware that you actually have. So if I was cutting out there, I hope that the situation has been rectified.
Yeah, it sounds better. Better. And,
Okay.
and don't forget, it's also our tech guy too.
I'll make sure to fire him.
Where was I? Oh yeah, I was talking about your new TV production. Your My Cribs episode.
Oh yeah. I
saw that. Go ahead.
I thought it was a good idea, that we could actually go around and share. A lot of us have multiple hobbies. We have Terry, who's part of the group, and a couple other ones that we go around and we have multiple hobbies and we do other things. And so I thought, a good idea would be to just kind of share the other side of us, just like Art Tuesday on the Facebook group and everything else. So why not show some of our other hobbies, or how we display all our finds, or like in Terry Bernard's case, his paintings and everything else, and how he sells them, or how he displays them and where they display. I thought that would be a kind of cool idea to just get to know some of the people out there.
Yeah, I'd like to look at different productions, different TV shows. But a lot of you guys don't know that. Lance, I know you're in Germany right now, but you are from the USA. And where did you actually hail from?
Okay, I was born in Portland, Oregon. Stayed there until about 78. Then I moved up to Seattle. And then in 1988, I moved to Colorado, Fort Collins, Colorado. And then I joined the U.S. Army in 1989. And then all the way up until 2005, I was all over, from Fort Bragg, North Carolina, to Vicenza, Italy, here in Schweinfurt, Germany, to Vilseck, Germany. And then all the places I was deployed to for police actions. I did some air quotes on that one, around the world as well.
So how long have you been living in Germany?
I got out. It was actually January 1st, 2005 was actually my first day as a civilian in Germany. So it's been a good 11 years now.
So you've been 11 years in Germany. Do you guys over there get any American shows, like on TV?
Yeah, what my wife and I do is, because of my birth mother, what she does is she gets me an iTunes card each month, a $50 iTunes card. So what I did is I created an American iTunes account. So I basically do the expat version of watching television shows out of the States. We watch them on our Apple TV over here, which is directly hooked up to our TV. So we get TV shows literally one day behind the United States.
All right. Well, the reason why I'm asking is because I was wanting to give you a little quiz on American TV. I think you're up for that little game.
I could try and do this. Let me.
All right.
Get a little liquid courage.
All right. Yeah, drink a little beer, and all right. Here I got a couple questions for you. There are two popular TV shows in America. I'm going to describe them, and then I want you to see if you can give the answers. Okay?
Okay. All right.
Here's the first one. What show features 2 talking pigs, a talking cow, and a talking jackass?
The Kardashians.
Dun, 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 dun,
I'm still going to stick with Keeping Up with the Kardashians.
That would be The View. The View.
That wasn't too far off.
Correct answer, The View. Now, you'll probably get the second one. The show features 6 models and Frankenstein.
That's going to be Keeping Up with the Kardashians.
You got that one right. You're 1 for 1, man. So we're gonna leave it at that, man. Because I don't want to make you a loser. I don't want to make you a winner at this. And you're pretty good. I tested those out on my kids, and they didn't get it. But I guess if you say Kardashians for everyone, you're bound to get it right?
I mean, even 2 talking pigs and a jackass says the Kardashians right offhand. Anyway.
Anyways, let's see. I got some GDA news for everybody out there. I don't know if you guys know Frankie. As I think he's pronounced his name Bunano. Well, he's a airman. I guess the 305 AMX. What does that mean? Do you know what that means?
No, I didn't.
He just re-enlisted for another. He just re-enlisted for another 5 years. He's our member. He's a service member for the. I guess it's the. What's the airman? Is the airman
That's
the
the
Navy?
United States Air Force.
Air Force. Okay,
Yeah.
so he just re-enlisted. So I think he's in there. I guess he re-enlisted in 2007, and he just re-enlisted for another 5 years. So I don't know. You say congratulations?
No, yeah, you congratulate. Yeah,
say,
definitely.
Thank you, Frankie, for your service. And another little tidbit here: Deep Digger Dan knocks out thug trying to steal a cell phone. Did you hear about that? That came out last week, or not last week? Actually, yesterday. Well, I guess Dan, he was out training, because he's going to go on that coast to coast walk. So he went out training. I think he was walking like 90 miles or something like that. And he was going around shooting with his phone. And he put his phone in his pocket. And then across the street, there was these 3 teenage kids. And they, started walking towards him. So Dan thought, I'm just going to come up to him and chat with him and see what he's doing, whatever. Well, the one teenage kid came up to him and clocked him in the head. And his 2 friends were kind of like sat in the background a little bit. So Dan just pretty much brushed it off and just smacked the guy, and he went down. So then all of a sudden, his 2 friends started coming up. So Dan thought, all right, we're going to have a 3-on-1 here. It's like no fair, right? But all they did is they came up, they picked up his friend, and then they took off. So Dan had a little scare there. He did a video, and you could tell he was shaking up a little bit, and he was pounding down a few beers and puffing on a smoke, and you never really see Dan smoking cigarettes. You see him drinking beer every once in a while.
Yeah.
But he was in pretty rough shape. I think he was a little rattled by that, and it was just kind of ruined his day. But that 90-mile jaunt that he took, he was all sunburned. He was peeling. He had blisters all over around his face and his mouth, and he was in pretty bad shape. So I don't know how he's going to do that coast to coast walk. But he says he's going to do it. I believe him. He's pretty much done everything that he said he's going to do. So I hope you're feeling better, Dan, if you're listening to this. And nice one-punch knockout from Deep Digger Dan.
Yeah, I can't believe that. I mean, I could dig into this a lot more. I don't really want to go into a rant on a lot of things, but you know what? Dan knows I respect the hell out of him, and he's doing what he can do, and to have somebody come up like that and just totally do that, that's just. Well,
he said he was in a
horrible.
really bad part of town, where he was actually walking. So there was, that's, that'll happen. Get confronted by that, but it's not like he had any kind of weapons on him with him, and it was a 3-on-1. But, he's lucky nothing really happened to him. I mean, he said he just kind of brushed it off. It didn't really hurt him or anything like that. That's why I always carry my shovel with me and my hand digger and stuff if I go out. Anybody just tries to mess with me, I see them coming towards me. If they don't look friendly, the first thing I do is I take out my knife and and just make sure that's displayed so they know that I'm packing something at least,
Yeah, I still got one of my combat knives that's always with me in my MFH pouch. And then I also got my Blackadder spade, which doubles as a very heavy impaling instrument. So I always got that with me.
All right, well, before we get into anything else here, and we got an interview with Stephen Auker coming up pretty soon in about 4 or 5 minutes from now. We got our question of the week. You want to give that question out and see if we have any answers for that?
Yeah, definitely.
And at the end, we'll pick the winner for the best answer that we think, and you'll receive a Draper mini shovel hook from Stephen Padley out of the UK, and you can also get that on eBay. And just type in Draper, Draper, mini shovel hook, and you'll see his display there. So, Lance, why don't you give the question of the week?
Yeah, definitely. Well, the question of the week this week actually came from Andrew Jones. He brought up a really good question. The question was, what makes a good find for you? Age, rarity, and scarcity, and why? So we've had quite a few answers, actually. From Steve Grapp, a personal friend of yours, he says, for us, my son and I, it's twofold. We love when we find something that connects to local history and anything that elicits a story. Often on rides home, we will try and recreate a story based on whatever we find. How the items got there, who owned them, and what the items tell us in terms of, again, local history, etc. Brian Ehrmantraut, I hope I did not just brutally destroy that name. Brian Ehrmantraut says, dating, because it always takes my mind back to the era when somebody carried the object and what life might have been like. Bernard Roadman, which is a good friend of mine, actually, if you watch any of my videos, Bernard Roadman is Benchy. He says, good looking, good shape, and the age together. And special for me is the owner of something like a wedding ring, and then he can give it back. Jerry Olson, another good friend of ours from the Facebook group, he says, for myself, I would say age. I live in Minnesota, and there seems to be very few really old items to be found. And also items that are from everyday use, like jar lids and toys. Larry Homan, in describing good finds, I would say age is a big factor. I also live in Minnesota and know to what Jerry refers. I really like older items that have nice eye appeal. Being an artist, I like more ornate things when they are silverware, jewelry, or other objects with scrolls and details. I do like things no one has ever seen before, so I guess rarity, scarcity is probably my second highest factor. So those were our answers.
If anybody else have any answers for that question, you could just leave it, post it right now, and we'll take the best one at the end of the show, and we'll give that Draper mini shovel hook away.
Yeah.
And before we go to our break and get to Stephen Gray, I just wanted to a couple things. Did you hear about that you can now not only check out books at a library, but you could check out metal detectors there?
No. Where are they doing this?
Yeah, well, how about that 500-pound WW2 bomb that they found on the school property? What about that? Did you hear about that?
Yeah, I definitely heard about that one. That made big news over here.
Or how about those rare medieval coins found on the school property? Did you hear about that?
No, that one I missed
Well,
too.
I'm going to tell you something. You can get all the latest at GDA and read the Archaeology and Metal Detecting magazine by Dave Sadler. Please leave a comment. Dave does a great job of bringing us all the latest news from around the world, some interesting facts on archaeology and metal detecting, and you can see it not only on our Facebook group page, but on a few others, and hopefully you're reading those articles from Dave. He puts a lot of time and effort into those, and we really appreciate him bringing them on board with us. All right, let's take our break. And then we can bring in Stephen here for us, a really, really interesting interview. What do you say?
Yeah, definitely. All right. I'm going to go ahead and play the exact same commercial that we had during our little audio breakup. And we'll see you guys in just a little bit. So talk to you then.
I've been out here metal detecting all day. I finally got the perfect signal, which was probably a gold brick or $1 million in coins, and my spade broke trying to dig the hole.
Has this ever happened to you? I'm pretty sure it has. With the Black 88 spades, you will never have that problem again. With reinforced welds and reinforced shafts, the Black 88 digging accessories are one of the best on the market, created by metal detectors for metal detectors. So make sure you visit their website at black88.com and purchase yourself one of their fantastic digging accessories.
Oh wow, this new spade is really tearing up the ground. Thanks, Black 88.
So visit black88.com. That's black88.com. The side effects of using the Black 88 spades are included but are not limited to addiction to metal detecting, digging holes easier, finding more relics, creating cleaner plugs, listening to the Global Detection Adventures podcast, making YouTube videos, watching V3I Sweeper episode, watching Detecting Bavaria with Lance and Black 88.
The Black 88 question of the week. Help us come up with a fun and interesting set of questions to let listeners answer here in the Facebook group. The submitting name will be mentioned in the top answers and be read live on the show with the name of the person who submitted it.
Well, welcome back, everybody. I want to give a very special warm welcome to the man with the hat himself, Mr. Stephen Auker, who's out on the Yorkshire coastline at the moment on the east coast of the UK, joining us. Welcome aboard, Mr. Auker.
Hi, thanks for having me, Lance, Dave. It's really great here at the moment. I'm on my balcony just looking at the sea, and I just wish I'd got a gin and tonic.
So you're wearing shorts and feeding breadcrumbs to the birds, I see?
Not quite short weather here yet, mate, but we're getting there.
Well, definitely.
We're really glad to have you with us, Steve. And we've been looking forward to this for at least a month now since we first talked, and we have a lot of questions that need to be answered, and hopefully you're ready for us. And Lance, why don't you just take it away because you're the host with the most.
Well, yeah, Mr. Auker, you're actually a very pretty well-known YouTuber for metal detecting and a couple other things, but we'll get into the other things here a little bit later on. But one of the things that I'd like to kind of go over with is how and when did you actually get into metal detecting?
Hey, well, first of all, thank you for inviting me.
Oh.
It was a great honour to be asked, and I don't really know how to answer that first question except to say that it was really by accident because I think we were sitting down at Christmas 2013 and saying, my wife and I, what do you want for Christmas? Don't need anything. What do you want? Don't need anything. So I put it on Facebook and said, I don't need anything. What should I ask for? And people suggested a camera for photographs. Done that. Fishing. Done that. Camping. Done that. Painting. Done that. I've done everything. Metal detecting. Done that. Hang on a second. I did that when I was about 13, and I used to find loads of money in children's play parks. So I asked for a metal detector, and I had to buy my own for my own Christmas present, and I got a bounty hunter for £125, and I went through the children's play parks here where I am right now on the park on the east coast looking over the sea, with the permission, of course, of the general manager here, and I did it under the understanding that I would donate any money I found, obviously it'd be spendables, as we call it now, to my cancer research charity. And in the first outing in January 2014, I think I found £27 in about 6 minutes, and I thought, oh, there's more to this than I thought.
Wow, that's amazing. And you started, as you said, January 2014 is when your first outing was. When did you actually produce your first video for the metal detecting?
Oh, I'm not sure. I've been producing family videos and stuff privately on YouTube, because my account actually goes back to about 2010, I think. But they were private videos. I think our first public video with any real topic, which would be metal detecting, would probably be around the end of March 2014. And I ran out of battery on my camera, so I never completed a video. It was actually I got so excited about recovering the hoard of silver Roman denaries, which ended up at 110 coins. And the flow and the Archies came in to help me dig a trench. I thought I'd get my camera out, and I ran out of camera battery in about 12 minutes.
Oh, jeez. Yeah, it seems to happen to the best of them. Yeah, and ever since around March of 2014, you have now over 200. How many videos do you have on your channel?
Oh, let me guess, 252.
Oh, wow.
Oh, that's a really great guess.
That's a point-on guess, I believe.
So, Stephen, when you were doing these videos, okay, before you started doing your videos, who did you used to watch or on YouTube, or did you watch anybody before you started doing?
I didn't watch anybody. I thought I'd be one of the first ones doing YouTube videos for metal detecting. It was only after I realised 6 or 7 videos in, I was getting YouTubers coming to me who were tagged as metal detectors. I thought, well, maybe I'm not the only one. Then I realised the world is saturated with them.
Oh, yeah.
So you had no really influence. You just basically just started, hey, I want to do this, and just went at it.
Yeah, and of course, the real reason I started metal detecting and doing videos were a sideline, really, but my past is in 2006. 2006, I joined the gym as a 16 stone 2. I forget how many pounds that is now for you guys over the seas, but just say I was a fat lard and I needed to do something about it. I was 49 years old and I couldn't run for a bus, so I came home one day and I joined the gym, and I paid a year up front because I'm a trainee Yorkshireman. And if anybody knows anything about Yorkshire, we're only second best in Scotland for a thrift. So if I pay up front for something, I'm going to get my money's worth. So I paid for a year's membership to the gym. And during that year, I lost a load of weight. I lost over 4 stone in weight, 63 pounds, I think it was. And I became quite a good runner. Whether I was fast or not was irrelevant, but I was good because I decided to do something really stupid with that enthusiasm and energy I did after the death of 2 of my close family members from cancer. So I said, without thinking about it, I said, I'm going to do something silly. I'm going to raise £50,000 for cancer research. I had no plans. I had no idea how I was going to do it. I just made that stupid statement. But the worst thing was I made it public. So I had to do something. So I started running, and to cut a long story short, over the following 7 years, I ran 9,000 miles in various events and things around the world. I say around the world because there was an event here in the UK, which was the Spartan race, which had 3 disciplines, and you had to do all 3 in 1 year. And I'd realised I'd missed one. So I got on a plane at Manchester. I flew to Orlando. I hired a car, drove 5 hours to Miami. I did the event there, drove 5 hours back to Orlando, got on a plane and flew back to Manchester just to get the 3rd race in for that year, which would mean, of course, my sponsor would give me loads of money. So after the first 7 years of running 9,000 miles and doing it abroad, I'd raised £30,000 for cancer research. But then, of course, the bottom dropped out of the market, and no sponsors were happening because the money was tight. All my sponsors were corporate, so they hadn't got any money. So I decided, well, what am I going to do? And that's when I decided on the metal detector, and maybe I could make some money from metal detecting. And how naive an idea was that?
That's fantastic.
That's a very interesting topic. You're talking about your cancer research. As you went from one platform to the other platform. How did you get into, or could you tell us a little bit more about, in depth, about the cancer you're raising money for?
Well, as I said, the metal detecting came around as a way to try and make more money after the fundraising had really ceased because of the recession that hit the world. I suppose hit all of us in one way or another.
Yeah.
But all my sponsors were corporate, so I'd get a stairlift company, and I'm going to give a plug now to Castle Comfort Stairlifts in Stoke-on-Trent, because they paid me £1,000 3 times to do a half marathon called the Potter's Half in Stoke-on-Trent. And the condition was that I had to run with a stairlift for 13 miles strapped to my back. and I would stop and it was a cardboard cutout. It wasn't a real one, and it had the label on the fastest stair lifts in Stoke-on-Trent, and I did interviews with the press afterwards and stuff like that. So I was so disappointed when the recession hit and the money stopped coming in, especially as I'd made this pledge to raise £50,000 publicly, and I was in a humiliating situation where the money had stopped coming in. So that's why I hit metal detecting, and I thought, I've got to do a lot of play parks at £27 a time to make up the 50,000 quid. So really, that's how it all started.
No.
So where are you at right now? Around 30-something, 33, 36?
No. Well, yes and no. My main account is £34,000 plus the. Now, the gift aid is also £4,500. But since then, I've had one or two very generous people, some of them metal detectorists, and what they've done, they've set up an account as part of my group, if you like. So whilst it doesn't show on my main account, which is justgiving.com/Stephen Auker, which will show you my 34 plus the gift aid, they're part of my team running their own account, so it adds to my total in the background. And if you add that together with the gift aid, I've just broken through the £40,000 mark.
Oh, wow, that's fantastic.
Wow. So you're getting there, getting closer.
I would initially got to do £50,000 plus the gift aid, but it's such a struggle. I may just have to reach the £50,000 with the gift aid.
Well, what you can do is you can bake some more of those Haggy pies that you've been baking, and maybe have a bake sale.
Oh, you've seen
What's
that
in that?
video,
What's in that? What's in that pie?
Now, well, it depends which video you mean, because there is a cottage pie made from haggis rather than beef, or it's my latest pie, which is the rhubarb pie. Is that the one you mean?
Oh, yes, that's the one I saw. Because my wife just made a rhubarb pie. We got rhubarb in our yard, so she makes that all the time.
My rhubarb was free, you see, because it was actually growing freely and wild on an old derelict house on one of my permissions.
Well, I just want to go ahead and just give everybody kind of a heads up. Stephen is joining us he's actually on a short holiday with his family, so he's out on the beach. He doesn't have a really good Wi-Fi signal, so his connection is kind of popping in and out. It's not bad, but, that's what the audio problems are tonight. It seems to be a lot of Skype issues going on tonight, just like earlier. So, Stephen, with just about every video that we see you metal detecting on, you just seem to be on a different pasture. How is it that you happen to get so many land permissions?
Right. Well, I guess everybody has an individual talent or a flair, or they're good at something and they're not really able to explain how they can paint or take good photographs or whatever. It's just a flair, I suppose, but I never go without a strategy. I just don't knock on doors for the sake of knocking on doors. I'm always prepared, or I have a strategy. I guess if you don't have a plan, you're almost certainly to fail. And to help people if they have not already seen the videos, I've made 3 videos over the last 18 months on how I go about getting permissions. Yeah. And the latest one is actually giving talks. And I volunteered to give talks to various clubs. For example, the one I did recently was Rotary International, which is a worldwide organisation with millions of members. And there's always a Rotary club somewhere near you. Just go along and volunteer to be a speaker and show them some of your finds. And, obviously come across as a dedicated faithful. It's all by the rules, and luckily, because I'm also a volunteer with the British Museum for recording, that helps me with my credibility. But more than that, they can actually see and touch and hear how I found these things. And some of these people in Rotary International are quite influential business people and will know people who have land if they themselves. So I very often get people ring me and offering me permission.
Yeah. That's fantastic. And I kind of want to actually go back to something that you brought up earlier. You were talking about the Roman denarii that you found. You found that within your first 10 weeks of metal detecting. How did that come around?
Yes, I did. Green, and I went to my local farmer. He was only just down the road, the closest one there was. And I asked him for permission, quite nervously, and he said, "Yeah, fine. If you can find anything amongst all this couch, you'll be lucky." And I've had several detectorists here over the last 30 years, and they've all found nothing. So I said, "Okay," and I started searching. And because I was pretty new, and I just got my Deus, I'd upgraded my bounty hunter. I realised it wasn't any good. Sorry, bounty hunter. It wasn't any good for my purpose.
Good back wheel.
I started digging. Yeah. The thing is, as being green and learning the new coil, I was digging every signal, good and bad, because I couldn't differentiate a good one from a bad one. So I was still learning. So I dug every signal. And it was only when I dug a first Roman silver, and I took a picture of it and said, "Can I Skype this to you? I've got a picture of something here. I think I got my first Roman." And the guy came back and says, "You've got a Trajan denarius silver there." And I, 10 minutes later, sent another one, and it was a Julia Domna. I didn't know who the heck these people were. And they said, "You're on a hoard, mate." Well, a hoard only is 2 coins in the UK, as you well know. But no way did I realise that digging every rubbishy signal, because I was so new and couldn't distinguish between them, that I was going to end up with 110 Roman silver coins, which had been detected on that field for 30 years by at least 25 other detectorists.
Yeah, I mean that's one heck of a find. I mean, how many did you say it was in total?
It was 110.
Oh man, it's one of those dream things. People have been metal detecting for 15, 20, 30 years, and they've never found a hoard of that size and that caliber. And then you're out there in 10 weeks. It's just, and then you just have it right in the pouch.
One of the funniest things I remember is that in the middle of that hoard, one day I dug up this little coin, and I said, "Oh, it's another Roman denarii. I'm fed up with these." And I rubbed it clean, and it was my first ever hammered.
Oh wow! And what year? About what time was that one at?
That was the James I, James VI. That's James I of England, James VI of Scotland simultaneously. I think it was the only monarch that was ever monarch of the 2 countries at the same time. And it was a half groat with a rose on one side and a thistle on the other.
Oh yeah, that's fantastic.
So Lance was telling me, and there was a special ring that you recently dug. Was this recently?
No, it was about 6 weeks after the hoard, and so obviously the hoard had gone for treasure trove, and that's when I started to learn about treasure trove and got very interested in the recording process. And then I went to another. I was running one day and on a 12-mile run, and I went through this farmyard, which I've always gone through, had done for 7 years. But now I was a metal detectorist, I realised I should speak to the farmer, so I stopped and said, "You the landowner, yeah, can I have a dig here?" "Yep, no problem, but you won't find anything. People have been here for years." Same old story as the one I got at the hoard.
Yeah.
And within 2 weeks of being on that permission, I found the merchant's ring dating back to the Elizabethan period, about 1550-ish, something like that. And of course, I declared it, and that's now my local museum as well.
Oh, that's fantastic. I actually talked with you personally about the ring because I found it to be so interesting. First, it has an extremely odd design on it. It's like multiple angled and faceted. It's just really weird, but it's really beautiful at the same time, and it's one big hunk of gold.
Well, of course, Lance, what people maybe not realise is that a merchant's ring is their signature. Just like a seal matrix, which people commonly find over here.
Yeah.
But of course, this ring was a big chunky ring because they used to wear it over their gauntlets. So instead of doing a signature or taking the gauntlets off, they would be over the top of the gauntlets, and all they do is press into a seal. And that was their signature. And I believe that virtually every merchant's ring had the figure 4 in the seal somewhere, and you can definitely see that in the one I found.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it's a very beautiful ring. If you guys haven't seen it, I'll make sure that I link the video onto our GDA group, or you can visit Stephen Auker's YouTube channel. What's your YouTube channel?
You can just search for Man with a Hat and you'll find me. That's Man with the Hat, and you'll definitely find me.
Stephen, speaking of Man with the Hat, how many hats do you own, and how many? When did the hat thing actually start? Is that just right off the bat, or did?
That was an accident. I never used to wear hats at all. Then one day I just wore one because somebody bought me one. I think I bought one when I was in Florida. I brought it back. It was Panama Jack. And I happened to say accidentally one day on video, "Hi, my name is Stephen, man with the hat." And it seemed to just stuck. And now I've got a Panama Jack, a Tilly, various other hats. And people are actually sending me hats now, including, would you believe, I heard yesterday that Pringles are selling me one of their hats with their trademark Pringle logo and some free Pringles as long as I make a video with them in.
Really?
Well, that's actually a good. Yeah, that's actually a good one. I would die for that one because I love me some potato chips, and Pringles are among my favorite. But good on you. That's fantastic.
So now, do you always have to wear this hat now that you're doing videos, or do you do videos without your hat?
I used to do videos without the hat until I made a slip up and wore the hat and said that what I said. Now I rarely ever am seen without the hat on a video.
Yeah, I think I've only seen
you look
one.
Younger with. You look younger without the hat.
I look younger without the hat.
Yeah, you look younger without the hat.
Okay, well, if you pay me, I'll stop wearing the hat.
Poor Pringles.
As far as metal detecting, so what's one last thing that you still wish that you could find?
Okay, well, I think everybody knows, anybody who subscribed to my channel and watches the videos, they know that there's two things I really am desperate to find. And I'm so optimistic, I think I'm going to find at least one of them every time I go out, but I never do. And it's a gold coin. Any gold coin, it used to be, and there's a story to it used to be in just a moment. And the other one is a Roman brooch. That's a good one, intact with the pin. Nothing less, not a fragment, but a Roman brooch. So those are two things I still would like really to find. However, the gold coin has changed quite slightly since, maybe 10 days ago, when I found that really, really nice Edward VI. And that's the 9-year-old boy king, the son of Edward VIII, who came to the throne at 9. He was called the sickly child boy king, and I think he died after 6 years, aged 15. There are very few of his coins actually produced, especially in sterling silver, because the first 4 years from 1547 to 1551, they were debased silver. But the one I found about 10 days ago was a lovely shilling in sterling silver. And I realised now that the condition of that coin is so brilliant and the coin is so unique that the only thing will beat that now is a hammered gold coin. So, no, I just don't want a gold coin now. I want a hammered gold coin.
Yeah, well, you can definitely. That's in one of your latest videos. Anybody that goes to your channel right now can check that out. It's one of the most recent episodes. I think it's the third one or fourth one in for your channels. And we actually kind of hit on this a little bit. You volunteer with the Portable Antiquities Scheme. Can you kind of describe exactly what that is?
Yeah, the PAS, or Portable Antiquities Scheme, is just one of the arms of the British Museum, and they're responsible for recording our history over 300 years old. And I got so intrigued after the hoard find, and more especially after the ring find, because I had to go through 2 treasure cases fairly early in my metal detecting career, that it really just caught me. And I became interested, and I was invited to become a volunteer. So I've been on, it must be half a dozen training days now, and my next training day is on June the 9th, which is going to be a Roman coin day with Sam, who's our local, everybody knows Sam. He's our Roman expert here in the UK. And I've got a day with him at the British Museum. And it's just really nice to be able to take some of our history and to record it, to extend the historical map of Britain. So when you look at all the finds that have been recorded, you can see at an instant what happened where the medieval villages were, and where the most activity was from any of our past. And those who don't record our history, because it is purely voluntary, then, unless it's treasure, of course, and it's compulsory, then really, you're missing out a great deal, because you get to keep your finds, but you just get to also develop that historical map.
Yeah, and I think it's a great deal.
Stephen, you not only do you do metal detecting videos, you do other types of videos, and one has a very unusual name for it, and I'm something with coupons, but I'm not exactly sure. What do you call that?
It's not coupons. If you get coupons, that means you're sitting there clipping out, and you clip 5 cents off this and $10 off that or whatever, but you've got to spend it exactly on what it's meant to be a coupon for. Wombling is what I make other videos on, and wombling is about making good use of the things that we find. The things that we find that other people leave behind accidentally by losing them or just discarding them, and they think there's no more practical use for them. Well, I do a lot of wombling, but the ones the one you mean is the wombling for maybe receipts from various supermarkets or stores or McDonald's or farm foods. I think probably the most profitable womble that I do over here in the UK is a store called Asda. It's part of the Walmart group there in the US. And Asda have a philosophy. They say if you can find anything that's 10% that's cheaper than us in the UK, and that be Morrison's, Sainsbury's, Tesco, there's another one as well, I've forgotten it, and we'll guarantee to be cheaper than them by 10% cheaper, and if we're not, we'll give you the difference back. So what I teach people to do is to go look for the discarded Asda receipts and type in the barcode on the Asda price guarantee.co.uk website, and if the person who lost their receipt could have got their shopping cheaper at one of the 4 stores, because if they could, you can press the button now and then and get a difference back. And I've seen receipts produced for up to £36 10 pence just by picking up a piece of paper. And this is so profitable, guys. I haven't really paid for any of my household goods and shopping since Christmas this last year.
Oh, jeez.
So you find a receipt that's in the shopping parking lot, and you look at it, and it has you can just take it, pick it up, type in the code.
Yep, you just pick up the various bits and pieces. There are several places you can womble. I'm okay, thank you very much. My wife just brought me an umbrella because it's pouring down the rain here now.
Oh, jeez.
And my best signal is outside here on the balcony looking at the sea. So anyway...
you're making me jealous.
Oh, yeah, right. To give you I use this story every time because it's one of my proudest moments. I started my wombling group on the 12th of January 2015, and it was just me and a friend. Now we've got 7,200 and so many members, and some of those people only survive our current climate through wombling, picking up things other people leave behind. It's perfectly legal, and to give you an example, there's one single mother who's on benefits, who in December, the Christmas month last year, was going to struggle to pay all her bills and feed her family and give them a good Christmas. Through wombling, she picked up £776 of free groceries, which covered all her family needs for Christmas.
Oh, wow.
And I'm very pleased that I introduced that person and 7,000 others to the art of wombling, which is perfectly legal.
Oh, that's fantastic.
So you could do that here. You could do that anywhere, right? And it's just not something in England and Europe.
You can do it anywhere. Basically, it's finding any store that has got a loyalty scheme with a card, which allows you to add points, tokens, or whatever retrospectively. So all you've got to do is find something that some person has lost, and take it in with your card to that store and add it to your card.
Yeah, we have that. We have something exactly like that. It's kind of benefits card, There's one, it's like a credit card, looks like a credit card. You just scan it in at your cash register at multiple stores, and the points get added on there. But most of the time, people don't have the cards. So those points get added onto the receipt, and then if you, let's say you get home, you can then enter a code which puts the points onto your card.
Hey, that's humbling. You all you got to do is to walk around the car park, the windy corners, the bushes, where the wind blows and hides those receipts from the original person who's lost it, and the litter pickers, you got to beat the litter pickers, go pick them up and add them to your card, your store card, your loyalty card, or whatever. The great thing about the store that I'm talking about, part of the Walmart group, Asda, is it allows you to spend, well, let's put it this way. On the way to the coast here today, I stopped for 6 minutes and I made £15 off my shopping.
It's just unbelievable.
So you have a video out there that actually has an introduction into Wombling. Was it called Wombling or Womble? Yeah.
It's Wombling, WOMBLING, and if you just go to wombling.co.uk, you can actually apply to become part of that group of 7,000 plus people and learn all the places you can actually womble and make money.
All right, that's great information.
Yeah,
I might even try that myself. Yeah, I'm tired of paying. You get tired of metal technique. You're losing some dimensions.
Dave, you're in the US, aren't you?
Yes.
Yeah, you can womble Walmart. Did you know that?
No, see, I just found out about the wombling stuff that you did, and I just thought it was something that in Europe or UK. So I could do Walmart.
No, Dave,
wow.
you search in Google the savings catcher, and it will tell you how you can womble Walmart.
Saving catcher. I'm writing this all down because I'm going to be doing it.
I have an
update in a month from now.
Actually, I have a question just came in for you, Stephen, from Patrick White, who's in the U.S. He wants to know: are you still using the Deuce X? The XP Deuce.
The XP Deus.
Yeah.
XP Deus. Yeah,
Yes.
I will only ever use the XP Deus. The reason why is it took me over 14 months to learn how to use it. I'm not going to start all over again. And I use the 13 by 11 inch coil exclusively now.
Oh, that's a nice big one. It's probably really good for those pastures over there.
It is, and I've even got my own program. After learning how to use it for so long,
We think we lost him.
Yeah, I think we've
Steven?
officially lost them. Well, we'll go ahead and we'll try and get him back. But for right now, I think, he's definitely still out there somewhere. We'll try and get him back. But
have you got me?
Oh, there we go. Yeah, we got you.
Oh, good. Okay, it's pouring down the rain here. It's changed the atmospheric, so the Wi-Fi is going down.
Yeah.
I created my own program called the Winkler. So if anybody wants to learn how to winkle, just go to my YouTube channel and it's there.
All right, let me ask you a question, though, because I tried to, once or twice, swing my coil on some farmland. And where do you actually swing? Because I find it really difficult to keep your low into the ground without bouncing off the tracks made from the plows. So do you just go in the center, or do you just go over the top, or how do you swing your coil in a plowed field?
Well, I have to admit, I do try and avoid deep plow. I also try to avoid stubble because you can't get low enough. So when I swing on the freshly drilled or at least plowed and rolled or pasture, I can tell you that in 2 years I've actually gone through 2 coil covers because I swing so low I scrape the surface.
Oh, jeez.
You find in the pastures, is the grass really high, and so you have the dais, so you don't have the wire; it's wireless. So anytime you have a wire from your coil to your box, if it hits something, it's going to give a false signal. But with the high grass, do you lose a lot of depth and everything like that with the dais, or do you really have to press down hard?
No, don't press down hard at all. Just swing low. Most of the pasture I go on is grazed pasture because over here the long pasture is for silage, which is the animal feed. So you let that grow, and then they'll come and cut it low again. Then you can go back on that again because they've cut it. But basically, it's either freshly cut, so it's short, or it's grazed, so it's short. But on the arable land, then obviously it's been ploughed and rolled, probably even seeded sometimes. I've tried walking on the big waves of ploughed, and I don't like it. And I don't like stubble either because you're so far off the ground. As I said, I swing so low. I've had 2 new coil covers in the last 2 years.
When I see you guys on the pastures all the time, I'm thinking, oh, how do these guys do it? I mean, I just do just practice in somebody's garden or something like that, where they go through with a rototiller, and it's like, man, it's too uneven. It's so annoying that I feel like I'm going to be missing so much, and so I just really wanted to know. But I guess it's you guys are kind of selective of where you guys go on your permissions as far as
it really interests me because can you hear me, guys?
Yeah, we still got you.
Yeah. Okay, just the weather here is really, really bad now. You used the word selective, and I'd like to leave you with that, if I may, because the weather is so bad, and I'm standing outside talking to you in this weather. But selective. I think the only reason I found that hoard of 110 silver Roman denaries and the merchant's ring is because I wasn't selective digging. I think the more experienced you get, the more selective you are. And you need to remember that the coil's job is only to tell you that there is something underneath. Then it's your job to decide whether you're going to dig it or not. Yeah. And I think when you begin digging, you are learning and you virtually dig everything. And that's why most new detectorists find more in their first year than they do ever in their second and third and fourth years, because they become selective after that. And you start selecting which signals you are not going to dig, and you make some bad decisions sometimes.
Yeah, that's so true, because sometimes I'll say, oh, well, this is going to be a copper penny. I don't feel like digging it. And then, one day I'll go out and dig everything, and that same signal is a ring or something really exciting. And so, now I'm starting to kind of almost dig everything, unless I know I'm in, like a park where there's a lot of pull tabs. But if there's anything that comes in 4 or 5 inches, I'm digging it regardless. So that's a good tip. And well, I know it's really. I think I hear it raining there. We don't want to get you electrocuted or anything like that. But I'll let you get back inside and warm up and have a little pot of tea, if they say down there in England there. And we're glad that you came on board today, and hopefully we can get you back when we get a little bit better signal. I know we had some Skype problems and some Wi-Fi problems. And,
but when I'm at home will be good, because I've got a good connection there. One thing I would say is thank you for inviting me on, and if everybody could just have one visit out and dig every single signal, however, and also go without your pinpointer. Go back to basics. And just have a day going back to basics and digging everything. So don't be selective about what you're going to dig, and you'll probably surprise yourself, but you'll dig more too.
Yeah, that's some great advice. True. Definitely.
All right, Stephen. Thanks for joining us. We'll definitely get you back on.
Thanks for having me. It. I'm going to run for shelter now, guys.
Okay. Stay safe and stay dry.
Stephen Auker, the man with the hat from the UK, running away from the rain. Yep.
All right. Yeah, that's one of the things I wanted to kind of hit about this, too. I know one of the things prior to my most recent permissions, all I had before was plowed fields, and he is extremely correct. Plowing, trying to metal detect the deeply plowed ones can be really frustrating, because the signals, when you're going over the hills, if you're swinging left and right and walking down the plows, the coil's going over those hills, that's going to be to the left and right of you, and basically those are the only signals you're going to get. Anything that's in the deep furrows, it's going to be a really weak signal. And honestly, I think for me, metal detecting that way, or learning with the Tesoro, that really helped me out. I was able to kind of, I guess you could say, get used to all the really weak signals a lot better with the Tesoro that way. I'm not sure exactly how
That's one thing I saw. It's like I don't know how those guys do it over there. It looked aggravating to me. I just like flat land, but I guess I'm not really sure how you guys plow. I mean, but when I look at the plows over here at our farm fields, it's just those big tracks, from the tractor, and I just can't see how anybody can get anything done.
Yeah,
it's too frustrating.
Yeah, for us, the time that I actually like doing is right after the harvest, the first turn right after harvest. That's usually when the ground is just freshly turned over. There's still a lot of the wheat and the hay that's been plowed into the ground, so the ground's still kind of soft and easy to dig into. But it still creates a barrier, kind of like an air pockets between them, that the signals are coming in a lot cleaner.
I don't even like going where there's high grass that kind of hasn't been mowed and it just kind of folded over. That same thing, you're up 5-6 inches off the ground with the grass being folded over, and there's not much you can, to really find there. Those are just frustrating parcels to try to metal detect on. So I kind of stay away from them as much as possible.
Yeah, you definitely hate my new permission. It's all woodlands and it's all it's nothing but tall trees and a whole bunch of undergrowth.
Yeah, every time I hit something, the coil will hit something, a stick or something popped up. It'll maybe touch the wire. You'll get a false reading again.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, that was the problem my son was having when we were out there. We got those generic knockoff Ace 150s that we got out of China. I mean, it was my introductory thing. It was something just so I could get out and go. And every time you bump anything, that thing sends off a signal.
Oh, man, we had some really bad problems today, guys. I really apologize about that, but we're just going to blame Skype.
Yeah, we're going to blame Skype. Honestly,
and the Wi-Fi connections. I mean, just the breakups, and it's kind of bummed me out a little bit. If you could tell in my voice, maybe I seem tired or not really into it today, but just it's one of those days where everything seems to be not working properly as it should, and the energy is kind of low for me. I've been, pounding the hours in at work, but hopefully in a couple weeks we'll get revived and we'll do another podcast for you guys, and it'll be much better technically sound, and so we won't have those problems that you guys have to listen to all the glitches and the lost audio.
Yeah, definitely. Next one's going to be an actual real good one too. Myself, honestly, it's going to be myself as a guest. Dave's going to be hosting the entire podcast next time, and myself and Ronald Bennett, who is an Englishman who served in Northern Ireland back in 1977, and myself, who served in Iraq and Kosovo and a couple other places, and how metal detecting has helped us both cope with PTSD in the years since we've both figured it out. And it's going to be a great show. I tried to get it as close to the invasion of Normandy, as close to D-Day as possible. So that's going to be coming out on June 5th, which is the Sunday. And so I please invite everybody to come in and bring everybody in, and we're going to definitely hit on PTSD. I know this is a subject that a lot of people actually get sore that it's getting talked about so much, but people need to realize it's not being talked about for the people who have it. It's being talked about for the people who are around service members who served overseas in Iraq, Afghanistan, in the first Gulf War, all the way back to Vietnam. So the people around them are more easily to recognize the fact that these people might be suffering from PTSD, and let them know that they might need to look for any kind of help. So it's going to be a great show.
All right. Well, before we sign off, did you want to go over and those questions and answers, and did you find a winner? And if you want to take some time to do that, Lance, you can. And what we can do is we can post the winner in about half an hour from now on the Facebook page.
Yeah, definitely.
The best answer.
Yeah, I think that's probably going to be the best thing that we can do is we'll go ahead and we'll announce the winner of the the question of the week and on the Facebook page. So make sure that you check that out, and you'll see if your question or your answer actually got chosen to receive the mini shovel hanger.
And then what you can do is you can just, if you are the winner, just PM us your address, and we'll get that sent right out to you. So you should have it by the end of the week.
Yeah, depending upon where you're at. You know, if you're in the UK, it might take a little bit longer.
All right, well, I think that's going to be wrapping it up for us today on the Global Detection Adventure podcast. Dave D. in Green Bay, Wisconsin. It's been a pleasure talking to everyone out there who's ever listening, all two of you. And we'll see you in a couple weeks, and we'll definitely give you an update on what's happening throughout GDA and our members and our best finds post and all the great things that are happening coming up soon.
Yep. And I'd like to let you guys know next week I'll be back out metal detecting, so you can find my videos on Detecting Bavaria with Lance and Blackadder. Just look that up on YouTube, and I'll be sure to be posting and sharing on GDA as well, just as much as Dave does.
All right, guys.
All right, so until next time, we'll see everybody out on the field, and let's dig it up, y'all.
This has been a production of the GDA Podcast Network.